Okay, so this is part 4 now. I'm gonna get right down to business. I'm gonna tell you specifically how to quit smoking weed. I'm 24 years old. Oh, and if you haven't watched part 1, 2, or 3, watch those so it makes sense for you. I'm 24 years old. I'm 100% sober. I quit smoking weed July 2007, so it's been like a year, 4 years and a month. And I also don't drink or smoke cigarettes anymore. I even quit cussing. All right, so here we go. Now I'm going to be specific. I wrote some stuff down this time. All right, so look. Smoking weed, in my opinion, has been a two-part addiction. One, I'm addicted to smoking weed, and two, I'm addicted to my friends. For me and everyone I know anyway, smoking weed is like a community thing. You kind of do it with a bunch of friends. I mean, and then when you become a serious pothead, you start wanting to smoke alone for two reasons. I mean, one of them is because you don't want to share. You know, smoking weed can get expensive, and you just want to like smoke weed on your own. And then for whatever reason, sometimes you wind up smoking alone. But if you're one of those people, especially if you're like close to my age, you might be smoking weed with a bunch of kids, with a bunch of people your age, and it's like a thing. So it's a two-part addiction. You got to quit them both. Got to quit them both, okay? When I first quit, I quit a bunch of times, or relapsed a bunch of times. I've never been this sober. I've never been sober this long. And the longest I gone with weed before I got sober for this long was like either 6 months or a year. I mean, I quit so many times, it's hard to say. But I know I ain't ever gonna go back. I've never been this sober. Never been sober this long ever. Um, and I don't think I've ever quit everything all at once before. So I'm not doing anything right now. I mean, I quit all the drugs. So smoking weed is a two-part addiction. Let me give you an example. There's friends, so I was addicted to hanging out with my friends, being where they were all the time. So I would get off work, right? I remember I used to get off work at 11 p.m. at this one place I worked at. I'll get off of work. Now, I'm usually at 11 p.m. at this one place. I was usually really hungry because instead of eating on my lunch break, I smoked weed on my lunch break, and I'd be like starving by the time I clocked out. So I'd be really hungry, and also really sweaty and smelly from work. So really what my body wants to do is eat some food and take a shower. Like that's like the first two things on my list. I can't wait to do those things. And I know how refreshing they will be. But what I did anyway was I would race over to hang out with my friends. They were always hanging out at this one place smoking weed, always hanging out at this one place smoking weed. And like losers, dude, we'd be parked in a parking lot. There was a parking lot that was a kick it spot. Like eventually we were down to parking lots, dude. That's sad. We would like sit in cars. My friend had a minivan, and we would sit in his minivan and smoke weed, and literally we'd be facing the wall. So we'd be sitting in his car, facing the wall, smoking weed high. You know what I mean? It took me like 6 months to realize that we've been facing a wall for 6 months straight. I remember just smoking weed one day and I was like, this is sad. Do you know that we sit in this car for like 3 hours straight and just look at the wall? Sad. Anyway, so I would race home. Instead of going home to take a shower and eat, or even pull over and get some food or something, I couldn't wait to hang out with my friends, see my friends, and smoke weed with them. So anyway, I remember once I quit smoking weed, but I still hung out with my friends the same exact way. Instead of going home and taking a shower or eating, I would just go right after work, go hang out with them in that parking lot, just kick it, just because I mean, I was so used to hanging out with my friends, I didn't know what it was like not to hang out with them. So I would just still hang out with them. The only thing that was different was I wasn't smoking weed. So I was sober for like I don't even remember. I think I was sober for 6 months or something, or X amount of time. And eventually I relapsed because I was still hanging out with them. One is because I was still around it all the time and seeing it all the time. Um, it was in my mind all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's weed like right there. I could smoke if I wanted to. And and look, dude, as greedy as some people can get, when you quit smoking weed and then you say you feel like smoking, like you say you quit smoking, it's been a while, and then you go, hey man, I kind of feel like smoking right now. Everyone gets all excited. They give, oh no 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 no, he's gonna get greens, he's gonna get green. They freaking can't wait to the cheapest person in the world of all your friends will come out and smoke you out with a fat chronic blunt. You know what I mean? On him. So I mean, don't. So that's why it sucks. So you got to quit your friends too, because there's a saying: if you're hanging out in the barber shop, you're eventually going to get a haircut. So that's what happens, and that's why you got to quit hanging out with your friends if you quit smoking weed too. I know some people who quit smoking weed and did what I did, and they're still hanging out with their friends. I'm like, dude, you can't be hanging out with them, and their friends were the exact same friends as mine. I'm like, look, this is what's going to happen. Okay, yeah, you're going to be fine. You think you got it under control because you've been sober for a while, and I know the feeling. But what's going to happen is you're seeing it so much that your mind is like, it by default seeing this stuff, and one of these days you're going to get this smallest little urge, dude. You're going to get the smallest urge, and there's going to be a blunt or a pipe that you can just grab onto. It's going to be with an arm's distance. All you got to do is go like that. Okay. Now, if you're smoking, if you quit smoking and you're not hanging out with any friends at all, you took my advice. You quit your friends too. You won't get that urge, by the way. And if you ever did, you wouldn't most likely wouldn't do it because it's not like within arm's distance where you could just go like that and inhale. You know what I mean? If all you got to do is go like this, then it's really easy to relapse. But if you're like driving on the freeway when you get that urge, you're like in traffic and you're like, ooh, I just got the smallest urge to smoke weed. It'll just evaporate, dude, because dude, you know how many steps are involved with that? It's like, man, you gotta get off the freeway, go all the way back towards home, make a bunch of phone calls, scrounge up $20 or whatever it is, go buy some weed, go buy some zigzags, roll it up. You know, it'd be like 2 hours later by the time you smoke. Like, so you most likely wouldn't act on any urges you get if you're not around it, is what I'm trying to say. And you wouldn't get those urges if you're not around it. In my experiences, I didn't get any urges when I finally quit my friends, but I did get them when I was still hanging out with them and I quit. So yeah, it's two-part addiction. You got to quit them both, okay? And admit it, hanging out with friends is addicting. Now, just so you know, the hardest part is day 1 through 3. Day 4 is like a million times easier than day 1 through 3. And the hardest weeks are weeks 1 through 3. Week 4 is like a million times easier than weeks 1 through 3. And the hardest months are month 1 through 3. Month 4 is like a million times easier than month 1 through 3. They call it the 3-day hump or like the 3 hump or something like that. It really is. It's like, and once you make it over that, it's all downhill. So, like that kid said, man, you must be trying so hard not to smoke weed right now. When I told him that I hadn't smoked weed in 3 years and a half, he's thinking that I'm every day fighting the urge to smoke weed. No, man. It was seriously like day 1 through 3. Those first 3 days, that's when I was like, okay, gotta be serious, gotta be careful here, like, can't be smoking weed, man. If I got the urge, I gotta be like thinking about on my toes, like, okay, gotta keep my hands busy playing the guitar, whatever it is I'm doing, you know. And then that was the hard. And then day 4 was almost natural. I almost woke up and didn't have the urge, you know. And then after like seriously by week 3, I'm really used to it. It was just like, dude, I don't even think about it much. And by like month 1 through 3, like I guarantee you, by month 4, it'll be like you never smoked weed. Not only will you feel like amazing and alive, and you will like, let's say you're like right now 10% yourself. Let's say your name is Shane, or let's say your name is Benny, or yeah, say your name is Shane, and you used to be 100% Shane, but you started smoking weed, and now you're a fraction of yourself, and people tell you, people who haven't seen you in a while, like, man, you're not the real Shane, you're not the Shane I knew. When you quit smoking weed, after like 4 months, you're like almost all the way back up to 100% Shane again, and that makes you feel so alive. You're like, woo, like I wanna start boxing. I wanna play kickball. I wanna start playing hockey again. I wanna play my guitar again. Ooh, I think I might even take a freaking scuba class. Like, you're just like alive, dude. And not only that, you won't have any urges. Seriously, you will not have any urges to smoke weed. Like right now, I am not fighting any urges. And just recently, I seen some friends. They helped me do some labor work, and I got paid them for it. And they smoked weed right in front of me. Didn't even really notice it. I get no urges at all, ever, at any point. Same thing with drinking. I had to go in a bar a few times for certain things. Like, and I didn't feel like drinking. I've been around people who drink sometimes, la la la. Don't feel like drinking. Smoking cigarettes, when I smell them, they stink like crap. I don't feel like smoking ever. So it's just the very beginning. Just so you know, it's not a lifetime of hard work. It's seriously hard work for 3 days. Like seriously, I put it that way. It's like 3 days of hard work. I remember one time when I tried to quit. I remember day 1. It was like my first hour of quitting. I just remember thinking, time went so slow. I just remember thinking, I was staring out of this crowd. I was just staring out into the light. while one of my friends was over and he was smoking weed and he was trying to get me to smoke. I'm like, no, 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 man, I quit, I quit. I remember just thinking, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know life without weed. Like, I don't have any friends that are even sober. Like, I was thinking, oh, I know, I'll call someone that's sober and ask them what they do. You know, they'll have some advice. Like, they could tell me what I can do. And I couldn't think of any. So I had no, everyone I knew at the time was, every phone number I had was for someone that smoked bud. So, seriously, I couldn't think. I just was just lost. So, really what you got to do is you got to be really smart. You got to be really, take my advice, man. Don't be dumb. Be really smart and proactive about this. Try harder than you've ever tried anything. I mean, do not be half ass about it. Don't be Mickey Mouse. Don't do a Mickey Mouse piece of crap job. Really, really, really put some thought and try hard at this. If I it, if I had to do anything over again, knowing what I know now, I would have planned my first few days out. I would have kept myself so freaking busy. And before I even start, I would call everyone and let them know that I quit smoking weed. I'll call everyone I smoke weed with, say, look, don't call me. Don't freaking hit me up on Facebook. And I wouldn't even get on Facebook because, I mean, Facebook didn't exist when I was, or, you know, it wasn't big when I was whatever back then. But now that I know it exists, don't go on Facebook. Don't go on MySpace because you might see and talk and hear about some stuff. You might be, oh, I'm going to go over there right now. Yeah, yeah, I'll see you there. Just freaking don't go on Facebook for like, tell yourself, I'm not going to go on Facebook for like 3 weeks or something, a month. Make a goal. And then when you're getting close to that goal, stretch it out. Go as far as you can. But be really smart about it. You can go the route where you don't tell anyone and just surprise everyone by quitting on your own and don't even tell anyone. But if you have this setup to where your friends just show up at your house without you asking them to, and they're always calling you, and you're always hanging out with a bunch of kids smoking weed or whatever, just do yourself a favor, fool, and just call them all up. Make sure you get a hold of them and say, look, I'm gonna quit, okay? And if you're really my friend, you're gonna remember this, and you're not gonna call me, man. You're not. I'll call you. Do not call me, cause I can't be trusted in the situation of me talking to you over the phone. If you're gonna do something, I might want to join you, and there might be nothing that could stop me. So just please, please, if you really care about me, don't call me. Don't invite me to anything. If you see me on Facebook, tell me to get off Facebook if anything, but don't talk to me about anything. Don't post no pictures of weed on there. Please, please just know that I really want to quit and don't contact me for this next X amount of time. You know what I mean? If I were you, I'd make it a month. You know what I mean? 3 weeks to a month. I would seriously make it 3 months. But just say I love you, man, and I'll talk to you and I'll contact you when I feel ready. But for now, don't call me. And I would let everyone know. If you have any sober friends, I would let them know too. And I would tell the sober friends and parents, family, whatever. I would say, look, keep me accountable. I want you to know I really, really, really want to quit. So please, contact me, text me, call me, ask me how I'm doing. Make sure that I'm not doing anything stupid. You might even call me right at the perfect time, right when I'm having these thoughts. Just call me, talk to me, tell me, make sure, la 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 la. And just be like, if you have any sober friends, say, hey man, look, I want to quit so bad, I fell off the track and da da da. But man, hey, look, I gotta stay busy. Will you invite me to anything you do, please? Even if you're gonna hang out with friends that I don't even know yet, maybe they might like me, dude. Just invite me, please have me over for dinner, whatever it is. Please invite me to the next thing you do. If you go to church or if you were involved in the church, whatever. By the way, I'm Christian, and that's what's keeping me sober right now. I became Christian. But if you go to church and just say, hey man, look, can you invite me to all your outings? If you're gonna have any sort of event, whatever, if you guys are gonna kick it at someone's house and have a Bible study, whatever, can you please invite me to that? Reach out. You gotta be smart, dude. Plan the freaking day out. Plan day one out. Maybe if you can afford it and you're old enough, go on some vacation with some sober people or go by yourself, whatever. If you live near a big city or something, take the train, take the bus, go to the metro area for the whole day. Stay gone the entire day. You know what I mean? Stay gone the whole day to where even if you really wanted to smoke weed, there's no way you could because you're far away from everyone. Just impossible. Make it impossible for you to screw this up. You know what I mean? Surround yourself with nothing but people that don't smoke. Okay? And then go off with them somewhere. Say, let's go on a bike ride. Let's go on a really long bike ride. Spend the whole day going on a bike ride. Maybe quit on a weekend so that you quit when everyone's free. or something, you know. And I don't know if this video is gonna cut me off in 4 seconds, but if it does, I'll have to make a part, whatever.